Can you at least address it? Can Steve Nash say, but what happened with Bronny getting drafted by the Lakers? Did you make a call?
And
did you go out with Rob Pelinka to dinner and Jeannie Buss and say, hey, I want this to happen? How did that come about? Were you involved in that?
Your head is going to explode when we get Bryce in the NBA.
It's going to happen.
He's going to play with Bryce, but he will have Bryce and Bronny in the
Lakers.
NBA.
Rob Parker goes off on LeBron James for being a liar. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
LeBron, of course, Mind the Game podcast. He had a lot to say when it comes to coaching and his sons in particular and how he lets them get coached. Let's listen.
I've never got involved with my kids' coaches.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's for them. From Bronny growing up to where he is now, and Bryce, on his way to Tucson, to Arizona. I've never got involved. I've never went to a practice and sat through practice the whole time to see how my son was being utilized. I never got on the phone with the coaches. Listen, he's there. Coach my son. Coach him however you want to. And I think you need to hold him accountable. I hope you hold him more accountable than any other kid here.
You don't even want coaches to hold you accountable. So someone yelling at your son, saying that he's this and that, or your other son, you're going to crash out. Think about what happened with Stephen A. Smith. You didn't like some of the stuff he said, and he wasn't even disrespecting Bronny. He was really talking about you. So if you pulled up on Stephen A. Smith, I guarantee you or somebody from your team, Clutch, Rich Paul, if they felt as though Bronny was somewhat being disrespected and not being treated as one of the team members, yeah, you would have one of your representatives, or you would personally watch the game and probably look at the coach or do other stuff like that. So we already know LeBron James, he's capping. He's in the mix when it comes to coaching decisions, playing, all that type of stuff. JJ Redick can't even coach Bronny. He can't even tell the truth, or his job may be on the line.
Once again, if you had anybody who was on the other side of the microphone, as in Steve Nash, who could push back and say anything, like these podcasts are useless. So he sits there, he lets LeBron say that, and all he had to do was say, did you pick up the phone and talk to Rob Pelinka with Bronny, drafting Bronny? Or was that just the Lakers? You never talked to the Lakers about making sure that he was going to play with you because you were never involved? Come on.
Good point, Rob. Think about it. With the manipulation of the draft, with Rich Paul saying that if the Lakers don't get to draft Bronny, they may be going overseas. So there were a lot of reports coming out of that draft, the Lakers trying to get Bronny to make LeBron happy, and it is what it is if that's what it was supposed to be. But for him to be like he never intervened or with the coaches and he wants his son to be coached the hardest, you're influencing moves. You don't even got to say stuff at the time. They kind of already know. Good little head nod like, okay, we already know what we got to do. Go ahead, draft Bronny. Let's try to get him in the mix. All right, make sure he shoots a lot in the G League, get his confidence up. So you're in the mix. If it's not you directly, it's someone from your team or Clutch or Rich Paul. LeBron, you can't fool the people anymore. They're starting to expose you.
Really?
Lies.
Well, does that make sense to you?
No
He's
sense
never
at all.
involved, never said anything about any of his kids? Is that true?
The only thing I can make sense of this is if you're going, now that he's trying to become a professional, I'm going to throw you the lob, figuratively and literally, to getting into the NBA. So I think
he says he's not involved. No, that's not what.
Without that, I mean, there is no greater definition of getting involved than what we saw play out with Bronny
saying.
James.
Like you can't at least address it. Can you at least address it? Can Steve Nash say, but what happened with Bronny getting drafted by the Lakers? Did you make a call? Did you go out with Rob Pelinka to dinner and Jeannie Buss and say, hey, I want this to happen? How did that come about? Were you involved in that?
Got to preach to him, Rob Parker. You already know. You're on the money. He made that decision for the Lakers. We already know LeBron James, one of the most powerful people in the NBA or possibly NBA history, just because of the power that he has in media. So he can change narratives, influence people to say things. You got Shannon Sharp. You got Draymond Green. You got Gilbert Arenas, Nick Wright, just to name a few people within media. So you got people that are somewhat powerful as far as their voice. It can travel. So if he doesn't say it, they'll say it. And it all comes back to LeBron and Clutch Sports. So it's obvious that he's influencing the coaching, the drafting. He knows what he's doing, but he'll never admit it.
Is that
anything wrong with that?
This is where Steve Nash listens, and then he goes, So what changed with Bronny? Like, how did you what made you
Yes.
get involved with that? Was it just an opportunity you saw I couldn't let go, or what? And then it was there, explains whatever his reasoning is for why that is. But yeah, it's a completely, once you say that, it does make it's the stark difference of what happened with Bronny. So I would like to hear what changed for
That's
Bronny.
all.
I would like to hear
right.
why you got involved with this. Why you didn't say, I chose for him to go on his own path in the NBA.
Exactly.
And I didn't have a problem with him doing it. You know that. But it just explained your thought process if this is how you've conducted it the first 17, 18 years of
That-
And that's all that people want. Just be accountable. Tell the truth. At this point, 23 years in the league, however many years, you did what you had to do. You can start standing on business. He's starting to try to, talk to the media a little bit more, being a little bit honest, but there's certain things that he don't want to address. If this is the move that you wanted to make to get your son into the league, speak on it. Stand on business. Don't try to, hide behind certain things or make other people speak up for you. You got this far, so at this point, be like, look, hey, JJ, we're going to try to get Bronny some minutes this season, try to make him a rotational player. He may even get more minutes than Gabe Vincent. So don't be surprised if you start seeing Bronny on the floor, and just think about who influenced that. LeBron James.
That's my point. You can't say that you never got involved or anything, or you just you know what I mean? Because you
lying.
did. That's the only way. That's how he got there.
Cap.
What changed with that? Hey, well, if he wanted to, he could just say, you know what? I did get involved because I thought it would be pretty neat. All right,
it.
or whatever.
That's
and I did
cool.
reach out, and they were receptive to it. They got out of respect to me, whatever it is.
Simple.
But to just ignore, he wasn't involved, that's what I'm talking about. The idea of having a podcast and having questions and talking about stuff. A podcast isn't just to just talk and not have any dialogue.
But unfortunately, when you're a huge megastar like LeBron, he can just literally just stare at the microphone and the camera, and it'll get millions of views. And then all he has to do is just, yap a little bit, say things here and there, make a joke, talk a little junk, and the people will keep subscribing and the viewers will keep climbing up. But I don't see what's so difficult by him saying, you know what? Hey, I'm the one that got him in the league. I made this happen. It was a perfect opportunity, and I don't care what people got to say about it. But when he tries to dodge the question or try to turn the question into something else, that's when you got people like me and Rob Parker and a lot of people that's kind of major but independent media. They're going to call LeBron out on his lying BS.
It's like I talk about the shop all the time, right? Kelvin, you've been in barbershops. Dude, I could walk in with this black Jordan pullover on, and somebody will say it's blue, it's navy blue, or it's
and
brown.
we're going to get to arguing and yelling and
Am
debating.
I right?
Man, you coming in here with that Jordan, man. Jordan, he don't even make no good stuff anymore. What? You crazy, man. Jordan, that's why I like Adidas. And now we got an hour discussion on Adidas versus Jordan.
But everybody can't be like, you preaching to the choir in a barber. What? You're going to agree with everything? Come on, man. That ain't
actually
no barbershop.
blasphemous. That is the polar opposite in a barbershop.
I've owned a barbershop for 23 years, man. I go in there, and it's World War III. You know that.
You can't even go in there and say your own. Man, my name is Kelvin. No, it ain't mine. My cousin's name spells his name just like you. We call him Kevin. I know, but my name is Kelvin. No, it ain't. Boy, I'll tell you, my name is 100%. Kevin. No, I'm just saying, bro. It's Kelvin. Yeah, I think this is where, again, to me, it was a great opportunity for him to express this. I don't know that we fully have heard him talk about this in a full, chilled, casual, I'm sipping on wine way to say, this is what I was thinking. This was my thought process. I knew Bronny wanted to do this, da-da-da-da. Because the only times we really heard were the quick answers at like a press conference during the beginning of this past Lakers season. So this was an opportunity to tell him, hey, man, it was different.
Or it could have been,
I had to put my foot.
Yeah, this is the perfect opportunity. Let me save all the content from my own platform. He's good at that. All the uninterrupted, the shop, and now the podcast with Steve Nash. Okay, let me hold all this in. We'll wait until after the season, address it, see how things go with Bronny. Now the season's over. He's entering his sophomore season. So at this point, go ahead and spill the beans. Let the people know, like, look, hey, I'm a dad at the end of the day. I'm going to put my family on, and why not get Bronny in the league? Had a crazy situation that happened health-wise. I'm glad he's okay. But, I had to make that call. I had to call Cheney Buss and Rob Pelinka, like, you go ahead and draft Bronny, and I'll be around here for a few more years. So he's never going to say it like that. Maybe he'll get to that point with the LeBron James documentary, The Last Dance. Who knows? But it's obvious that LeBron James is capping when it comes to Bronny being in the league.
foot. I said, look, man, it's a one in opportunity, lifetime chance to play with my son. No one's ever done it like this. I had a chance. I had to do it. And Steve Nash be like, wow, what did you think of the criticism? Like, there could have been a cool, casual dialogue about this.
Missed it.
And I do think it was a missed opportunity for us to get some more insight on that, especially saying I've been hands off with my sons when it comes to hoops,
Right.
Those
and
are
everything
lies.
else
He's capping.
previously.
BS.
That's the issue.
But
And-
you know what, Rob? Your head is going to explode when we get Bryce in the NBA.
It's gonna happen. No,
I'll be
no
retired
surprise.
by then.
No, we getting not this coming season. He's got to do his one away.
Yeah, LeBron won't be in the league though by then. By that
He's
time.
going to play with Bryce. Maybe not on the same team, but he will have Bryce and Bronny in the NBA.
The Lakers aren't going to go that route by that time because Bryce is actually going to be good, and they're not going. Other teams are not going for that. If he's a talent, be good, and they're not going. Other teams are not going for that. If he's a talent, they're not. I'm telling
they're
you,
not
you
gonna
could
let
do
that.
that.
They'll snatch him up.
You could do that when somebody's not high on their list and you want to play that game. If he's a talent and they think that he could help them win, ain't no way they're listening to that and saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna let the Lakers get him, even though it should be drafted higher or we have a higher pick." I don't buy it.
Rob G.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers draft Bryce. I don't think people were too surprised that the Lakers drafted Bronny. We heard the rumors, but if LeBron James wants to kind of leverage him playing a few more years with the Lakers, hey, you drafted Bronny. Now go ahead and finish up this deal, this legacy deal. Draft my son Bryce. I'll sign a 3-year deal with a 2-year opt-out. It's cool. It is what it is, so no surprises if Bryce gets drafted by the Lakers. But at the end of the day, we already know LeBron is influencing the coaches or anything surrounding his kids, and it is what it is.